Hello everyone, in this session I will discuss about examination of hematopoietic system. Examination of hematopoietic system is important for certain RBC disorder, WBC disorder, platelet disorder and clotting factor disorder like cases like thalassemia, any leukemia or any generalized lymphadenopathy case or hemophilia. So in these cases you should examine first the hematopoietic system. So let's see what are the points under which examination is done. So examination of hematopoietic system under two broad heading, general survey and systemic examination. In general survey, important findings relevant to hematopoietic system are pallor, icterus or jaundice, cyanosis, edema, bleeding spots like petechiae, ecchymosis or any small hematoma, pulse like high volume pulse or water hammer pulse, JVP or jugular venous pressure. Systemic examination includes examination of lymph node, examination of the liver, examination of spleen and elicitation of any bony tenderness. So these are the things which we usually examine in hematopoietic system. So this is my patient. So examination of hematopoietic system. First, general survey. For relevant general survey points like pallor, icterus, cyanosis, edema, bleeding spot, pulse, JVP, follow my video on general survey. Now I am coming to systemic examination. For systemic examination, first point is examination of lymph node in the body. A lymph node becomes palpable when it is enlarged, but all enlarged lymph nodes are not necessarily significant. Some lymph nodes are palpable only when it is enlarged enlarged up to a particular size, that is called significant lymph node enlargement. For cervical group of lymph node and for axillary group of lymph node, it is 1.5 cm for cervical and for axillary group of lymph node. For cervical and inguinal group of lymph node, this is 1.5 cm. For axillary group of lymph node, this is 1 cm. And for epitrochlear lymph node, any size palpable is considered as significant lymph node enlargement. So what are the things that we should examine for lymph node? We should inspect all the lymph node sites: cervical, axillary, abdominal, inguinal, popliteal, epitrochlear, and we should also palpate. What are the points we should note? First of all, number of lymph node enlargement. Second is site of lymph node enlargement. Next thing is size of lymph node enlargement, consistency, any tenderness, any matting or adhesion of lymph node, any fixity to adjacent structure like in muscle or overlying skin, any changes in overlying skin like ulcer formation or any sinus formation. Next thing I am going to show you is examination of lymph node. First of all, cervical lymph node. Cervical lymph node consists of one horizontal group, next is one vertical group. So first of all, examination of cervical lymph node, horizontal group. First I should stand at I should stand like this behind the patient and should examine the lymph node in the following fashion. First, submental lymph node, below the mentum, submental lymph node. Second, submandibular lymph node, Third, pre-auricular lymph node, just in front of auricle. Fourth, post-auricular lymph node, behind the auricle. Fifth is occipital lymph node. So submental, submandibular, pre-auricular, post-auricular, next is occipital. And for vertical group, upper cervical lymph node or upper jugular, next is mid-jugular, next is lower jugular, supraclavicular lymph node, and here you should examine posterior triangle lymph node. So this is all about cervical lymph node examination. Submental, submandibular, preauricular, postauricular, occipital, upper jugular, mid jugular, lower jugular, supraclavicular and posterior triangle lymph node. Next thing is axillary lymph node. Axillary lymph node. For axillary lymph node, first of all, axillary lymph node, anterior axillary or pectoral lymph node. I should examine my patient with this hand. For right side, 3 group of lymph nodes are examined with same sided hand, opposite side hand, like so. Hand should be placed like this. This is anterior group or pectoral group of lymph node just behind the border of pectoralis major. This is anterior axillary lymph node. Next thing is central. Central is this central lymph node, axillary lymph node, and last thing is apical lymph node. You have to deeply palpate this apical group of lymph nodes. So first of all, just behind the pectoralis major, anterior axillary lymph node, next central, then deeply apical group of lymph node. Next is lateral group of lymph node. I should examine this with same sided hand. So this is lateral group of lymph node on the medial side of the arm. Lateral axillary lymph node. This is lateral axillary lymph node. Next is posterior or subscapular lymph node. Posterior or subscapular lymph node is palpated here. Posterior or subscapular lymph node. Posterior or subscapular lymph node. So this is how axillary lymph node palpation is done. Next is epitrochlear lymph node. Epitrochlear lymph node is present just along the medial border of the palm, and this is how it should be palpated with the thumb. This is epitrochlear lymph node. This is epitrochlear lymph node. Now, next thing is inguinal lymph node. Inguinal lymph node. You know there is presence of 2 types of inguinal lymph node: superficial inguinal lymph node and deep inguinal lymph node. For inguinal lymph node, superficial inguinal lymph node is present in T fashion. One is horizontal arm, another is vertical arm. So you should palpate like this. First, in the oblique manner, along just below the inguinal ligament for the horizontal group of superficial inguinal lymph node. Next is vertical group of lymph node. So first horizontal group, horizontal arm of T, next vertical arm of T. In this fashion you should examine the inguinal lymph node. Next is popliteal lymph node. Popliteal lymph node. For examination of popliteal node, you should place your hand like this, both thumb on the tibial tuberosity, and with the tip of finger you should examine the popliteal lymph node in the popliteal fossa like this. This is how popliteal lymph node is palpated. Popliteal lymph node. Next thing is lymph node of abdomen. Lymph node of abdomen. So lymph node of abdomen, external iliac lymph node just above the inguinal ligament if it is palpable. Next thing is mesenteric group. It is usually enlarged in a condition like tabes mesenterica, where lymph nodes tend to form mass by adhesion. In lymphoma, lymph node mass is palpated. The mass is mobile, only right angle to the attachment of mesentery. The mass may be palpable here, right iliac fossa, in tabes mesenterica. Then retroperitoneal lymph node, para-aortic and pre-aortic lymph node may enlarge considerably, can be palpable only in thin-walled and grossly malnourished child. Pre-aortic and para-aortic may be palpable in malnourished child or thin-built child. Next is mediastinal lymph node or enlarged thymus. For enlarged thymus, percussion should be done. So thymus is enlarged in this fashion. So this is my percussion line. So for the percussion there is some rules. So one is my pleximeter finger, another is percussion finger. This is pleximeter finger and this is percussion finger. Pleximeter finger should be placed right angle to the line of percussion. So this is my right line of percussion. So I should place my pleximeter finger like this, and I should percuss with this percussion finger. So this is how percussion for thymus is done in this line of percussion. So examination of mediastinal lymph node and enlarged thymus. Lastly, examination of throat. And the last thing in lymph node examination is examination of the throat for Walder rings. As you will know, Walder ring consists of nasopharyngeal tonsil or nasopharyngeal group of lymph nodes, tubal tonsil, laterally palatine tonsil, and in the floor of mouth on the posterior one third of the tongue, lingual tonsil. So lastly, I should inspect the Walder's group of lymph node. Babu ha karo, jib ber karo. So this is how I should karo. This is how I should examine the Walder's group of lymph node in the mouth. Next thing in hematopoietic system is examination of the liver. So for examination of liver, legs should be slightly flexed and I should examine the liver in the following fashion. This is where actually liver is present. So I should examine or palpate the liver like this. I should place my hand with radial margin of my index finger parallel to this costal margin. This is costal margin. I should place my hand with radial border of this index finger parallel to the costal margin, and and your hand should not cross the midline. You should follow that. So my radial margin of my index finger is parallel to this costal margin and my hand is not crossing the other side or midline. So now the patient is asked to inspirate and expirate deeply. Babu shas nao jore jore. Chharo, shas, chharo, shas, chharo, shas, chharo, shas, chharo, shas, chharo. This is how. So Babu abar now. So this is how liver is palpated. Some examiner may show you like this fashion with tip of finger. Shas now, Babu. But this is not usually followed. This is not the ideal one. And another one is dipping method for the patient with ascites. If ascites is present, then dipping method is done. Dipping method is like this. First one is for shifting the fluid, second one is for palpation of abdomen. So what are the points which we should mention in examination of liver? First is consistency of liver. Is it firm or hard? Next is border or margin. Is the enlarged liver border or margin is rounded or sharp, or is it regular or irregular? Next is surface of the enlarged liver is smooth or nodular. Next thing is tenderness. On palpation, is there any tenderness present or not? Next thing is pulsation. Is there any pulsation present or not? Pulsatile liver may be seen in tricuspid regurgitation or any vascular disorder of liver. Then whether liver is symmetrically enlarged or not, whether left lobe is palpable or not. If liver is enlarged here, you should examine the liver along this border to know whether the left lobe in the epigastrium is enlarged or not. Next thing is liver span. Liver span. How liver span is measured? First of all, you should know the upper border of liver dullness. For upper border of liver dullness, chest percussion is done like this. So this is how along this border percussion is done, and upper border of liver dullness is noted along the mid-clavicular line. So this is one point, and by the method of palpation, inferior margin of the liver is noted. Suppose this is the inferior margin of the liver along the mid-clavicular line. So from this point to this point is the liver span. It should be measured in centimeter, and you have to mention it in your examination of liver part. Next is examination of spleen. Spleen is present here, and spleen is usually enlarged along this direction from left hypochondriac region to right iliac fossa. So this is how spleen examined. You should place your hand like this, one hand to support the spleen. Next, you should start palpating from right iliac fossa, and gradually you have to proceed towards the spleen region or left hypochondriac region. Babu, একটু শ্বাস নাও, ছাড়ো, শ্বাস, ছাড়ো, শ্বাস, ছাড়ো, শ্বাস, ছাড়ো, শ্বাস, ছাড়ো, শ্বাস, ছাড়ো. So here spleen is not palpable. If spleen is not in, sometimes spleen may be enlarged in this direction, so then you have to palpate the spleen along this border. So this is how spleen is palpated. If spleen is not palpable at all by these two methods, then what you have to do? You have to ask the patient to lie in right lateral position. Next, you have to do hooking method. With your left hand. This is how hooking is done. Just below the left costal margin, with the tip of your finger, you have to hook and palpate the spleen. This is how you have to make a hook, and this you have to place your tip of fingers just below the left costal margin. This is how hooking method is done. This is hooking method. And the next and last thing in the hematopoietic system is any bony tenderness present or not. For elucidation bony tenderness, I will press on the manubrium part. Manubrium. Is there any manubrial tenderness present or not? Body and the manubrium. Manubrial tenderness and body of the sternal tenderness. In case of leukemia, sternal tenderness is usually present, especially in ALL, acute lymphoblastic leukemia. Next is tibial tuberosity, present or not. Tibial tuberosity tenderness. For elucidation of tibial tuberosity tenderness, you should press just above the tibial tuberosity to know the presence of tibial tuberosity tenderness or not. So this is how hematopoietic system is examined. This is how hematopoietic system is usually examined. So this is all about hematopoietic system. I think you have learned very well how to examine the hematopoietic system. So all the very best. If you like these videos, please like, comment, subscribe my channel. Thank you.